Yet another patch that breaks the game in a different way. Recently there's been a patch released by Blizzard without any announcements beforehand or in advance before they released it and applied it across the system wide in other words. Host bots were taken down or will be taken down. I'm not sure what the situation really is like. I haven't done any research to be fair, but from the sounds of it, or from the looks of it, it sounds like host bots will be cancelled and will not be allowed, uh, to exist. So, make me host? Nope. End gaming? Nope. Nothing. They say that you don't need to port forward anything anymore. Well, jolly, it only took them 15 years to figure that one out. But, to be fair, I don't know anything of how to develop a game, so that's only an over-exaggeration on my part, because it could be also very difficult to get port forwarding done right. But in other words, it's like I sort of feel for the past few months that you gotta remember, it's not just Blizzard, it's Activision Blizzard, and it seems like the game they're trying to make it. I don't like the directions half of the games that Blizzard has made are taking. Like, I don't know much about Diablo, so I'm not gonna talk about it. StarCraft 2 is getting great content updates, but despite that, it's bleeding players because there's only a finite amount of fun you can have if you don't buy any of the co-op commanders. Uh, Heroes of the Storm is booming. It's doing really well. But there's one thing that is kind of making me a little nervous. I might be just paranoid because of what's going on in the world, and that I'm watching what's going on with political correctness and social justice in America. But there's the newest event. What is it called? Uh, I don't know. Let's have a look at the Google. There's this new event, and it has a loading screen. And the loading screen is kinda. I find it a bit unsettling. Because, it's an event that is caused by the Raven Lord. Oh, there. Maybe I might be able to find it if I search Raven Lord. Raven Lord. Oh, there. I'll switch to screen capture. Let me add it. Screen capture, yeah, whatever. Hide that. Oh, whoops. No, wrong. Hello? Hey, why is it not... whatever. It seems like it's not gonna... Well, maybe if I add another scene, add screen capture there. Will it work? Why the hell not? Okay, let me add a window. Just a window. Delete. Add window. Okay. Firefox. There we go. I don't know why doesn't screen capture work, but hey, it's an event that's caused by this guy, the Raven Lord. They've done a really nice job on giving him an actual form. In the past, you don't know who he is. All you know is what his voice sounds like, and you kind of get to know his personality, and that he's about the ravens, and that he has a lot of power because he can curse forts and minions and such. And they've given him a physical form that kind of fits the imagination, I would say, or that meets the expectations. And then you look at the loading screen. Can I find something if I do this? I can't. Oh, there. And all you see is 4 women. And I'm like, the social justice alarm is going crazy. And I'm saying, maybe I'm just paranoid, because I wouldn't be surprised. But I sincerely hope that they picked these characters because they like them, and not because they want to send some secret message. You don't. Other than this artwork, I've never seen. Sorry, not this artwork. Other than there was one more where he was shown full. Didn't I have it open just a while ago? Is it this one? Yeah, this one. I have seen only his face in game. I haven't even completely seen him. It's like it's this you got this big event and he is the cause of it. You don't even see him, but you get to see these four completely. You're like, I hope I'm wrong. So anyway, I hope that this is just a coincidence that they pick these characters because they like them, because they fit. And to be fair, there's no male witch, so I get that, yeah. Female witch is fine. I just hope that I'm wrong because I must be paranoid about that. Anyway, Heroes of the Storm is booming. It's doing great. It's getting great content updates. It's performing nicely. Although I think it may get hit by this, if loot boxes get disabled. I don't care about loot boxes. I don't think many others do. At least the paid ones. The ones you get for progression, I think they're awarded at a stable rate. It depends on what heroes you play. So I think loot boxes in Heroes of the Storm are fine because it's a free-to-play game, unlike some other paid games where you have to pay if you want more loot box. Well, you have to pay. Like, loot boxes in a paid game, that's a no-no. But in a free-to-play game, I'm fine with that. But anyway, Heroes of the Storm is doing fine. Hearthstone, I talked about that in a video of current state of Hearthstone, in my opinion. And I think Hearthstone is a dumpster fire, and it's only gonna get worse. You got, as if I recall correctly, and if an employee really said that, or a spokesperson for Blizzard, or for Hearthstone more specifically, said, we want to have a healthy combo meta. Healthy combo meta was never a good thing, except for when Dirty Rat was around, and even then it was difficult to pull things like that off. Like canceling your opponent's combo. It was about precisely timing on which turn will you play the Dirty Rat, and calculating the possible outcomes. And if you still have a chance to win against that, the Exodia mage, which just has the quest, and then over the course of 2 turns, where you're just watching him play solitaire, he's gonna like get 4 Sorcerer's Apprentices, then Antonidas, and then Infinite Fireballs. It's like, even if you have a Dirty Rat, there's a chance you won't hit Antonidas, and if you don't, you hit a Sorcerer's Apprentice. It doesn't matter. So long as you don't, so long as you don't hit both Sorcerer's Apprentices or Antonidas, you're not gonna win that match. If you're a control deck, in my opinion. And same goes for Shudderwalk. If you don't hit Shudderwalk, it just goes infinite. Then one turn he has 1 Shudderwalk, he plays it. Next turn he has like 6 Shudderwalks, and he's stolen 15 health from you. And he's also filled his deck with like 4 cards against fatigue, and it's... What do you do with that? Well, the answer is nothing. You gotta try and kill it before that, but if you're a control deck, your chances of winning are very slim. They are there, but they're slim in my opinion. And then you look at World of Warcraft. I haven't played it. I can only guess, and I can only guess based on what some people have told me and what I've seen online. The general opinion is PvP is good, but PvE is garbage. And managing the equipment and farming the equipment is absolutely trash. Takes a lot of time. You can get things you don't even know what they do if they fit your build, and you gotta make a time limited decision, as far as I understand. And like I used to think that a big part of finding loot in a game, like a role-playing game, was when you find it, like you kill enemies, you get something, you're trying to figure out, well, is this better? Is it gonna do me more good than what I have right now? And is it gonna do me more good with these skills that I use? Or is the one that I have better? And how much can I sell both for? Which is better to keep, if I should keep them both and swap them, or if I should sell one, use the other. I used to think that was a big part of it. But now it seems like in World of Warcraft, you gotta make a time-limited decision on what do you actually want, and you're not really given much time to do that decision. I may be wrong. Once again, I haven't done any research on World of Warcraft other than these videos and these opinions that I've heard and asked for. It's not like people come up to me and say, hey, you want to know about World of Warcraft? No, I ask them and they tell me. So then you got Diablo. I haven't heard much about that either. I only heard that like Whirlwind on Barbarian is broken, and that Barbarian in general is like underperforming. But that's a bug. That's a bug. So, and then you got Warcraft. And not only you got the change in terms of service and terms of use or whatever, I always forget which of these two. I would guess terms of use would be the one, with a subtle change that whatever story you create in the editor of Warcraft 3, if you then try to recreate it anywhere else, they may lay claim to that. You know, if you write a book, they may say, hey, that book is ours because you created the story first in our editor. I don't know how really enforceable or not that is, but in general, it sounds quite quite threatening. Like, oh, you dare create something in our editor? Well, you're not gonna rake in any money for your efforts. We will, because guess why? Because we can. And then there's the other thing with host bots getting killed, where they're trying to cut off the external websites. You know, it's I get that they want to improve their service and their game to a point where external hosting websites and host bots are not required. But if you open Warcraft right now, you click on a game. If I recall correctly, last time I tried to play something online in Warcraft 3 was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. If you open Battle.net, if you click custom game, or it's not, yeah, custom game. If you click that section, you click on a name of a lobby. You're not gonna see how many players are in. You're not gonna see the potential ping. You're not gonna see where is it hosted, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you will, because they made a change, and well, you can pick a region on which you wanna play. So, but if you pick all regions, I don't think it's gonna display. This is like EU. This is North America. This is North America East, North America West, whatever. It's like, look, yeah, I get that they want to improve their service, but wouldn't it be better for them to just let the host bots exist and let the sites exist while they tinker with their own service? And once they get it to a point where it's satisfactory for not only them, but also for the players, you know, where they can click a lobby and see what's the amount of players in the lobby, what's the ping, even something like names of the players, or how many, you know. Oh, sorry, you do get to see how many players there are in a lobby, but it's not. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, sometimes a lot of the time it doesn't reflect the real situation. I've tried to join lobbies where it was like 7 out of 9. I joined in. It turns out there's only 3. I'm the 4th one to join. That there's like 1 bot or 2 bots, and so things like that. Like, they could let the host bots be there while they tinker with their stuff. And as said, once it gets satisfactory for them and players, then they can say, okay, we don't need these anymore. And then I would be for, you know, just because those sites wouldn't become obsolete. But why go there if you can get the same or better in game? But right now, even though they have done some changes, I still think that the website hosting is superior to this. It's like I've talked about this in a Discord, and there's people that are trying to defend this, and they're saying, oh, but you can do it yourself. You can do it in like 3 clicks and like 4 seconds, and you don't have to wait. Well, you know, that's cool, but the host bots have a spot in, or had a spot in the hosted games of Battle.net, because there's people that after a long day of work or whatever just want to come in, click the name of their preferred map or custom game or whatever, and play that, and play it over and over and over. And I don't know if you've ever tried to play like many custom games in one day. It's very exhausting, and a part of why it's exhausting is because after you finish a match, where you may be exhausted even just after the first one, you may find it exhausting to just search for the map and then click host game, and then like manage kicking players who don't belong there because you're like perhaps playing with a party and things like that. And I kind of forgot, because of the dog barking, what I wanted to follow up with. Alright, first there was the host bots, and oh, whatever. Well, I forgot. So, oh yeah, another thing is you can't kick trolls or people who join and then immediately leave, and you know they will leave. You can do that on a bot, but not here. So it's like, fundamentally, what I want to say is, I think fundamentally the hosting system Activision Blizzard. Gotta remember, it's not Blizzard anymore. It's Activision Blizzard. I think fundamentally the system is flawed, and they just are trying to shut down uh, websites that are doing it far better than Blizzard is. And for what reason? Like, I don't see what the someone said that they may be violating some terms of service or whatever. Well, look, hostbots have been fine for the past 15 years or so. So why are they all of a sudden problem? Well, because you changed your terms of use without really telling anyone. I mean, it's there. You can read it in public, but how many players of Warcraft are really gonna go online and search for terms of use and gonna read through all of that? It's like you could have just written in the patch notes, we have changed our terms of service or terms of use, and here is what we changed, instead of just we made a change. I think it was in the patch notes written like this, that terms of use were changed, but not what the change was. I might be mistaken. I haven't done any research about that either. So, I mean, it's a big mistake on my part that I haven't done any research, but that's why I'm saying that, because I think it's a mistake, and I want you to be informed of me knowing or not knowing what I talk about on the certain topics. And like in general, I just don't like the direction Activision Blizzard is taking things. Oh well. Anyway, this was supposed to be just a 2-minute talk before I start recording a problem with ogres, which some have said is not as satisfactory and is much easier than dealing with the fell orcs. But I argued that if I get Grom back, because one commenter said you get Grom back and you get an item, versus you get this if you do ogres. Like if I do fell orcs, I'm gonna get a plus 15% lifesteal and plus 15 damage item, and you give that to Grom along with the Lordaeron Greatsword. It's like it's gonna make many things much easier. Like fighting enemies, Grom already has high base armor with mirror image and lifesteal and whatever. Like, I'm happy I chose ogres, but we'll see going forward how difficult will things be or not be. And some things in Heroes of the Storm piss me off, but they're not as major as in Hearthstone. You know, like Kingsbane or Shudderwalk or if I don't stop soon, it's gonna turn into a rant. But I wanna say like two last things. In Heroes of the Storm, they're giving like extra buffs to Overwatch heroes, and while others are, you know, getting left in the dust. You look at Hanzo. Hanzo is a ranged hero, and his strength is, I think, it's supposed to be that he can do damage, but he also has mobility, so he can do damage and then get away if someone tries to get close. And what it's like right now is, if he goes and tries to duel someone at a higher level, there's a pretty good chance of him winning. But that doesn't make much sense. Okay, I think he has way too high base damage on both his basic attack and his other skills compared to his total health pool and his kit. Because you look at his kit and it's like very versatile in terms of doing damage. You got his Q, which can do a huge chunk of damage to a non-tank, and even a tank will notice when he gets hit by that. You got Scatter Arrow, which is, it doesn't do that much damage in my opinion, but it like, you can angle it in a way that you can hit the enemy's backline while tanks are at the front line, and it can do serious damage to them if they're in a enclosed space or like a tight corridor. Then you got Sonic Arrow, which is an incredibly powerful tool. You look at other heroes. I would say Tyrande, but Tyrande is an exception as well. You look at some heroes like Tychus. He's a ranged hero. He doesn't have any scout. He has a grenade, but it doesn't give you vision of an area. It only gives you it only tells you whether there is someone in the bush or not. The Sonic Arrow, on the other hand, it reveals an area. It keeps on revealing it in pulses for like 5 seconds or so. It's whatever. At this point, I'm just running. But problem with him is he has too high base damage for his health pool and for his overall kit. It's like these Overwatch characters, they all have super high damage, super high mobility. Their health total is shit, but it doesn't matter because they have much more versatility than like many other heroes in the game. It's like you look at Tracer, for example, or Genji. Then you look at the newest assassin, Mephisto, the one with the channel ultimate deal damage to all enemy heroes. Well, in some way, there's a new form of interaction with other heroes. You got like, I don't know who to use as an example, but like Sonya can save up, can pick a stone skin talent to then have a shield to survive that, or at least try and survive that. You know, there's characters which don't have any counterplay to this. Then there's like ice block supports and ice block specialists. Like, well, only one, Nazebo. And then you look at you know, these all need a talent to deal with it. And then you look at fucking Tracer and Genji, for example. Tracer can just time recall and doesn't take any damage at all. Genji can just use deflect and he doesn't take any damage at all. It's like, it's a part of their base kit. And it's a ridiculously good part of their base kit. It's like then you look at others that are completely powerless when the channel starts. It's like, please, don't stop giving Overwatch heroes these ridiculous. It's like, I get that it's supposed to be after Overwatch, but it's, you know, it doesn't. It's sticking out like a sore thumb, these Overwatch characters in Heroes of the Storm. It's like, half of the time they don't even care there's a wall, you know, or there's impassable terrain. Most notably Genji, whatever. Now it's just turned into a rant, so I'll stop here. There's, if I could redo the video, I would, but I think I would forget like 80% of things that I said in here. So I'll just upload it the way it is and feel like I could have done a much better job instead of retrying this and failing miserably. So that's all for this sort of info video, and I'll see you in the would you look at that, moving it up and down, but nothing's changing here. I'll see you in the gameplay video. 22 fucking minutes. Oh well.